Hello YouTube, B3 here, back with another kicking action figure review. Today we have the review you've all been waiting for. Vulture from Spider-Man Homecoming. Marvel Legends Vulture Flight Gear Build-A-Figure Wave. Yeah, he's very cool. The Vulture itself is actually a single figure. And then the Collect and Connect Build-A-Figure part is the wings, like the flight tech. So you have to buy the Vulture without the wings and then build the wings. And normally when I see Build-A-Figures like that, I'm just like, ugh, man, that is... Why? Why would you do that? Like the Parallax and stuff. But yeah, that Parallax wasn't the best anyways. I'm glad I decided not to finish that. But with this figure, I think it really worked out for the best, because you couldn't really get good, accurately sized wings and stuff with him without doing it that way, you know? And who would want the Vulture without the wings anyways? So, you know, it really worked out great. First, I'm going to show you exactly what parts he came with. The Vulture's Build-A-Figure piece is the back part that, of course, goes into him and connects to all the other parts, which is pretty awesome, pretty cool. I really like the paint coming down it right here from the propulsion and everything. That's very nice. And he also comes with this stand, because he got those big old wings. It can be difficult for him to stand up, and you'll see him on this during size comparisons. Now, before we really get into the parts with the wings, I'm going to show you the Vulture figure by himself without the wings. One, just because it's easier to do articulation stuff that way, and two, because this is technically a review for two figures. Depending on your point of view, I suppose. But yeah, articulation-wise, he can look up quite a bit, right? So if you want him flying, you can pull that off. That's really awesome. And you got side to side on the head, a good, you know, cock. That's not what I meant. Like you can cock side to side if you want it to, like inquisitively looking at someone. That's nice. You got a nice forward ab crunch, backward ab crunch, detailed and painted all the way up the joints, up and down, forward, back, bicep swivel, double elbow bend, wrist swivel, and forward and back, and that's all the arm stuff. Did I mention the waist? Yeah, well, that's the waist. In and out on the legs, forward and back on the legs. You have a thigh swivel, a double knee bend, as well as up and down on these feet with an ankle pivot and peg holes on the bottom. But yeah, the Vulture figure, even without the wings, looks really badass. Like, I still wouldn't mess with him. This awesome flight helmet, and I like the kind of aviation jacket he has on. That way, because the aviation jacket also looks like a plume of feathers, so that really works out. And it's got the harnesses and everything. These cool feet. Like, you could use them to clutch on the Spider-Man if you wanted. Like, he's really cool looking, man. This is a great design for the Vulture. It really is a great design for the Vulture. I'm dead serious. We even got Birdman himself. But, I mean, it's a great looking figure. Detail and paint's just incredible. I mean, it's beautiful. And then the wings themselves are awesome as well. So the wings are ginormous. Like, you gotta hold them all the way back just to give you guys a full view of them. Like, whoo! That is pretty. That is very pretty. I'll be having this figure in my collection for quite a while. But, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 parts, and then the Vulture himself. So, you know, that's pretty cool. And this middle part, as I already said, comes with him. And to build these incredible, incredible, incredible wings, you need the Homecoming Spider-Man with the Stark Tech suit, the Homecoming Spider-Man in the homemade suit. You need the Marvel Now Moon Knight, Cosmic Spider-Man, aka Captain Universe Spider-Man. You need Tombstone, classic 80s Beetle, and of course, as I have mentioned half a dozen times already, the movie Vulture. And then you can finish the wings and slap them onto him. And they are really nice. These parts connect separately so the turbines can move on their own for really cool poses. There's all kinds of posability on this thing. You can get, like, look at this. Coming down like that. You have movement like this, forward and back on each wing. And you can come out like that if you need to. or go in, which I guess is really what you're supposed to do, go in like that. And that's really cool also. Forward and back on the wings. You got forward and back on these turbines. They can also spin this way and this way. So that's really, really cool. But yeah, they all bend in and everything. And the detail and paint's really good. Immaculate detail. I like all the green and everything they threw on here. It pegs into his back really well. Like, it doesn't even want to come out. So, you know, that's crazy. As I said earlier, love that blue coming out of there. And it's just beautiful. Absolutely, it is beautiful. I really like the look of these wings. And then the stand that I mentioned before, that also comes with this Vulture figure. The way you stand on here is you slide this kind of in there, and that way his feet still touch the ground. So we'll get an accurate size comparison and everything, even with the stand on. And speaking of size comparisons, let's move on to that right now, huh? I know they're pretty far from the, the lens, but I wanted you to get a full scope of the wings and everything for the size comparison as well. But first I'm going to show them off with some other movie figures that are in continuity with him. Here on the left we have the tech suit, the Stark Tech Spider-Man from this movie and this wave. So that's how he looks with that. Really great, I think. And then here on the right we have the Scott Lang Ant-Man from the Ant-Man movie, of course. The movie Ultron Build-A-Figure Wave version. Very cool. Here he is with some more spiders to tussle with. Here on the left you have the Walmart exclusive 2-pack Ultimate Spider-Man, who also came with a Vulture figure, who was also very awesome. I love all my Vulture figures. Very, very cool. But yeah, since it also came out because of this movie, I thought I'd just show him with him in case you want a more comic-looking young Spider-Man for him to fight. And then here on the right, Silk herself. Yeah, I really love Silk as a figure and a character, so I threw her in here also. Here's with some more Hasbro, Marvel Legends, Gucci. Here on the left, one that's slightly older, not too old. I want to say like 2013 or so. The Iron Man 3 comic series Iron Patriot, who also is Spider-Man related, technically, because he is Norman Osborn. But yeah, it's just to show him with a slightly older figure. And then here on the right, I wanted to show him with the eel, simply because, once again, the eel is a little Spider-Man related. Just a little. And also because he's the Bucky Cap mold, which is like a very, very common, very standard mold for Marvel Legends. So that's how he looks with that standard mold. And for our last size comparison of the evening, I'm going to show the Spider-Man Homecoming Vulture with some non-Hasbro Spider-Man that you could have him fight if you wanted. This one on the left is a little too big, sadly. It is the Disney Store exclusive Marvel Select Superior Spider-Man from Diamond Select Toys. And then here on the right, this one fits in a bit better. It is the Battle Ravaged Spider-Man from Toy Biz, based on his look towards the end of the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man film. Well, not based on, I mean, that's exactly what it's supposed to be. But you get what I'm saying, guys, right? So all in all, what are my final thoughts on the Marvel Legends Spider-Man Homecoming Vulture and Vulture Flight Gear figure? I mean, this is a really cool figure. Awesome figure. Awesome Build-A-Figure wings. I think this strategy worked out. At least for hardcore collectors. Maybe not for people who just casually wanted a Vulture. But for hardcore collectors, it's definitely something dope. If you like the movie, maybe build this dude. I don't know, man. He costs a lot to build. You might be able to just buy him by himself for less on eBay, but it really depends on who's selling and blah, blah, blah. You could buy pieces individually for cheaper, but you'd still have to get the single-carded Vulture either way. So, yeah, if you like the Vulture, if you like Spider-Man Homecoming, or just awesome figures, this is a cool guy to have in your collection. I gotta find a place to display him. That's my only trouble. My other Vulture and my Falcon and some other winged characters like, you know, Benner Hobgoblin are up on top of my AC, but I honestly have 100% no clue where this guy is going to go. I have no idea where to put him. But yeah, that's it. Thank you all very much for your support. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the cool links in the description below, Facebook, Twitter, etc. But that is it. Thank you all once again, and I'll see you all later.